Why shouldn't you be fired?
Well, one, I think I've done a really good job here, and I don't think I can be judged by the injuries this year. You have to judge from totality, from beginning to end, and you'll see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competing for a championship.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That was Nico Harrison in April 2025, predicting his team would compete for a championship next season. 7 months later, next year arrived. The Mavericks started 5-12. On November 11th, Harrison was fired. So much for that championship prediction. Now the real question isn't what went wrong, it's what happens next. How can the Mavericks possibly rebuild after this disaster? That's what we're breaking down today. Let's quickly recap the catastrophe to understand where the Mavericks are starting from. On February 2, 2025, Nico Harrison made one of the worst trades in NBA history. He sent 25-year-old Luka Dončić, a 5-time All-NBA talent, to the Lakers for 31-year-old Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a single 2029 first-round pick.
It's a complete crap!
Things fell apart immediately. Anthony Davis got injured on his debut, February 8th, out for 6 weeks. Kyrie Irving tore his ACL on March 3rd. The Mavericks finished 39-43 and missed the playoffs entirely. The 2025-26 season was supposed to be better. It wasn't. The team started 5-12. Anthony Davis was injured again with a calf strain and Achilles concerns. Kyrie Irving is still recovering. And just when things couldn't get worse, Cooper Flagg, the promising 18-year-old rookie who was supposed to be the future, was playing on a broken roster with no structure around him. The fan base had completely turned on ownership. Attendance hit its lowest point in 20-plus years. Revenue was projected to tank over $100 million. Sponsors were leaving. Listen to one of the fans' reaction.
I've been a Mavs fan my whole entire life since I've been a baby. This is the worst moment in the history of my life. This is ridiculous. This is crazy, man. We went to the NBA Finals. Why are we trading the best player, the franchise player? How are we trading the franchise player? We went to the NBA Finals. He's supposed to have a statue. Hell yeah. He's supposed to have a statue. Dirk got a statue right there. It's supposed to be Luka right there. Why we don't got a statue for Luka?
On November 11th, Nico Harrison was finally fired. But here's the real question. What does the Mavericks organization actually do next? Let's be honest about the constraints they're facing. First, draft capital. They won't have full control of their draft again until 2031. That's 6 years from now. This is a massive problem because rebuilds are built on draft picks. Second, the salary cap situation. Anthony Davis is owed $58 million over the next 2 seasons with 3 years remaining on his contract. Kyrie Irving has a $44 million player option. These are massive anchors that make flexibility nearly impossible in the short term. Third, Cooper Flagg is only 18 years old. He's struggling right now, 40% from the field, 27% from 3, because he's trying to carry a broken roster. If the Mavericks want him to develop properly, they need the right environment. So what are the actual options? Option 1, trade Anthony Davis. This is probably the most realistic scenario, and honestly, the best one for the franchise. Anthony Davis is still a talented player, but he doesn't fit the Mavericks timeline anymore. He's 32 years old with a history of injuries. He's the centerpiece of Nico Harrison's failed vision. Getting him off the books opens up flexibility and sends a message that this is a new era. Here are some realistic trade options. Trade Scenario 1. Anthony Davis to Miami Heat. Mavericks get Tyler Herro, Davion Mitchell, Sandro Fontecchio, 2030 first-round pick. Why it works: Herro is 25 years old and a perfect scoring partner for Flagg. Mitchell is a defensive pest. You're getting younger, future-focused pieces that fit the timeline. Trade Scenario 2. Anthony Davis to Milwaukee. Mavericks get Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, and draft picks. Why it works: similar concept. You're shedding the Albatross contract and getting back useful veterans and picks. Trade Scenario 3. Anthony Davis to Sacramento Kings. Mavericks get DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, multiple first-round picks, Sacramento 26, Spurs 27, Timberwolves 30. Why it works: this is the restock the picks option. You get draft capital back to help rebuild around Flagg. DeRozan gives you scoring while you transition. The key here is that the Mavericks can't get a superstar back for Davis. His age and injury history make that impossible. But they can get complementary pieces and, more importantly, draft picks to rebuild their cupboard. Trading Davis isn't admitting defeat. It's accepting reality and moving forward. Option 2. Wait and see. There's another school of thought. Don't panic. Pump the brakes. See how the team looks when Kyrie Irving comes back from his ACL injury, expected January 2026. Some executives argue the Mavericks should wait until next offseason to make big moves, when they have more clarity. By summer 2026, they'll know if Irving and Davis can stay healthy. They'll see what Flagg looks like with a full season under his belt. They'll have clarity on what type of free agents they can attract. They'll be able to trade more efficiently because the market will be clearer. They could also use the 2026 draft pick strategically to fill needs. If they finish near the lottery again, they could land another promising young player to pair with Flagg. But here's the problem with this approach. Every day that passes with Anthony Davis on the roster is money lost. Revenue continues to decline. The coaching staff and front office are scrambling. And most importantly, Flagg isn't getting proper development on a losing team. It feels like this option is less likely, but some in the front office might push for it. Here's what I think is most likely to happen. Short term, by February deadline, the Mavericks trade Anthony Davis for a package centered on younger pieces and draft picks. They fully pivot to building around Cooper Flagg. This signals a clean break from the Harrison era. Early 2026, Kyrie Irving returns from his ACL injury. The team gets healthier and probably wins some more games, but it's clear this isn't a contender. Summer 2026, the Mavericks make a full pivot. They look at clearing more salary, potentially moving Irving and other veterans if the return is good. They aggressively target the 2026 free agent market for complementary pieces that fit around Flagg. 2027 and beyond, with their own draft picks back in their control, the Mavericks rebuild through the draft while adding young free agents. Flagg becomes the centerpiece. This isn't a quick fix. It's probably a 3 to 4 year rebuild. But it's the only realistic path forward given the constraints they face. The bottom line, the Mavericks' future depends entirely on how well they execute their exit from the Nico Harrison era. And that starts with trading Anthony Davis, accepting reality, and fully committing to Cooper Flagg as their franchise player. That's their next chapter. Thanks for watching.